How's it going, folks? So today I have probably the most interesting, thing I've kind of stumbled upon in the midst of doing a signature deep dive. As y'all know, I like to do that and find, hidden bands or, lesser known things that, I explore and see what I can dig up and find, to listen to and react to. This kind of off the beaten path, if you will, because it's always fun. But this one here, I did a deep dive, and I ended up diving. I don't know where, somewhere even deeper than I anticipated because the name of this band, first and foremost, is Urania Fantasia, and the name of this song is The Arcane Muse. So one thing that is very curious about this is when I tried looking up the band, this is like the debut single from the band, and they're part of this group that's being called the Love Aniverse, like music universe or something like that, but it's called like Love Aniverse. Like spawned from this record company, I think was called Love Anarchy Records or something. I don't know. It's all kind of a smidge confusing, but looks like this one fella in particular, who was in charge of that Love Anarchy, records or what have you, kind of put this together, and it's supposed to be some sort of multiverse, but like for music and different artists and bands and stuff like that, but all kind of under the same like shared world or whatnot. And I was like, really, my curiosity was piqued, of course. So I went to the website for the Love Anniverse, and I was a little overwhelmed because it looks like the different bands. There's when you go to the page, there's like a list of all these different kinds of planets and races and characters and stuff, all already part of this world or whatnot that's being created. Or I'm not exactly sure how it all works, to be honest. Like I said, I got kind of overwhelmed and I tried to figure it out. And it looks like there's already a few bands involved. One is described Yarima or something. I think is described as like symphonic metal, with the use of some like traditional Japanese instruments, which I thought is pretty intriguing. And then there's this other band that I forget what the name was, but the music was described as progressive arcane rock. So I don't know, just really really interesting stuff. But it seems like all these characters are part of this world building, and I don't know if the lyrics have to do with all of it as well, and tell this huge like overarching story, or it'll all connect at some point. But this new band or group involved or created for this, I don't know, epic saga verse of music, metal or whatnot. Urania Fantasia. What is it again? It's Urania Fantasia. Yeah. Some kind of like celestial beings or something is what this band kind of represents. This group, I don't know. Like I said, it all very very confusing, but it seems pretty cool. Like if somebody really wants to dig into it, there's like already rich lore developed already. It seems like there's a few bands part of it. It looks like this is something started last year or so, I think. And they're adding more and more. So I don't know how expansive this thing is going to get and how intertwined everything is, but I don't know. I've never heard of anything like it before. So it's pretty cool. I don't fully understand it. I'm still a little bit confused. But hey, I figure this is a good place to start as any. This is what I stumbled upon that kind of led me down that rabbit hole. But yeah, if anyone's into that, wants rich world building and lore and all this interconnected stuff in their metal music, this definitely seems like something that would be down your alley. But anywho, again, and maybe someone out there can describe this to me a little bit better. I really don't know. But yeah, very, very curious. Like I said, one of the most interesting deep dives I've taken that, like I said, took me to just another level, another realm of diving. So I don't know. Anywho, but now I've brought you all on board with me. So you make sure you got your oxygen tanks and scuba gear because we're doing a deep dive, and make sure you have your interdimensional gear and all that as well because I can't guarantee you where we'll end up on this dive. So I don't know. So just be prepared. But let's check this out. This is the new song that's part of the Lavaniverse, new group, part of that said verse. And the debut single of this group of this represents these like celestial beings or whatnot, from what I can gather of the lore. Anywho, yeah, let's see what we got, shall we? And by the way, I didn't listen to any of the other, bands or any of the other music or anything that's part of this Lavaniverse yet. So this is the first time. When I say Lavaniverse, it's LOVANAVERSE. So yeah, it's like a amalgam of love anarchy with verse at the end. Love and a verse. Anywho, I'll put the link in the description so you folks can go have a ball and see what I'm talking about when I say it's just a lot. But yeah, without further ado, let's check this out, shall we, Rangers? Go. Wow. That was a lot. That was a lot. Fitting because, like I said, when I looked into this Lavaniverse, it's a lot, and fitting that this song is a lot. Wow. First two things, that artwork. I really enjoyed the artwork throughout the video. That was sick. And second of all, those vocals, those notes. Wow. Uh, those are some impressive vocals. Good gracious, the range and those notes. Those notes. Wow. Those high notes were just absolutely stunning. Just beautiful with the falsetto up in there. Whew. Wow. Absolutely stunning vocals there. Just wild, wild stuff. And musically, just pretty wild, pretty proggy, very theatrical. Like the video forewarned us, the theatrical symphonic metal, but very theatrical. Yeah, it reminded me a little bit of something, maybe from like Trans Siberian Orchestra or something like that. Because I mean, you could like see this playing out like on a stage. Um, Although it'd have to be quite the set because the images and stuff that the song conjures, with the keyboard and just the music, it sounds very. I mean, it sounds like celestial. It sounds very, um, spacey and almost like existential. It is pretty wild, the sound that they're able to capture, and with the music. So I gotta definitely give kudos for that because it definitely creates this atmosphere, this sense of like larger than life, this literally like as if you're floating out, in the universe somewhere. It just really, in this other world, almost like just otherworldly. It has a very otherworldly sound. So definitely, hit the mark there, without a doubt. The keyboard playing was just off the charts, phenomenal. And yeah, I mean, just like the arrangement of the song, was just wild. So I mean, everything, the musicianship, vocals, but those vocals though was just top notch. Extraordinarily skilled folks here involved with this. Um, this is a tough one though for me. I mean, I feel like this is one of those songs where you know it it, it requires additional listening, and also it requires context. I feel like the album is probably going to be very like you know conceptual. Tell like this story, and you really gotta get into the whole vibe of the whole album, because like one song, one snippet taken out of it is like it's not like enough to get you fully invested. Um, but it's just not enough to really uh, fully convey, or just fully get you. it, it's just a lot to take in, like with just one song. I guess is what I'm trying to say here, because it's so grand, it's so like I said, otherworldly, and again those vocals and just the musicianship. It just has such a I don't know, such a power to it. It's just a lot. And again, the progressive elements thrown in there with just the arrangement of the song, and everything going, just a lot to wrap the head around. So yeah, I find myself in a peculiar spot where I don't fully know how to feel. I'm impressed. That is without a doubt. I am impressed. I like the sound. There's a lot there that I definitely liked, but like as a whole, like the song itself, again, I just find myself in a position where I'm not quite sure how I feel, you know? So it's difficult for me to tell you one way or the other. But I think I like it. I think I like it. Um, I don't know if I love it. You know, I don't know yet if I would like put it in a playlist or something because it's just a lot. Again, with the theatrical elements and the progressive elements and just the nature of the song itself, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, but it's very, very impressive. I'm definitely intrigued. I definitely want to hear more, and I'm definitely gonna to listen to this song more because, you know, I really want to try to vibe with it. I really want to try to come to terms with it a little bit more because one listen's just not quite enough. You know, it's out there, this song, but again, it's befitting of this whole Love-Aniverse. Very impressive song, very impressive. I think I like it. I think I like it. I mean, I love the vocals. I'll just tell you that much, and I do love the music. It's just the song itself as a whole. It's just a lot to wrap the head around. And you know, it may need some additional context. Like I said, it taking a just taking this song on its own, I feels like a little bit difficult, you know, for the listener. But very impressive stuff. I definitely want to hear more. And yeah, that's what I got for you. I know this has turned out to be somewhat of a long video, but I really wanted to give you guys the debriefing, you know, in the beginning about this whole thing because I was just intrigued and perplexed. But let me know in the comments down below what y'all thought of this song here. It's a wild one, a wild one. Let me know what you thought. Or do you want to hear more? Are you intrigued? Do you want to hear more of this Urania Fantasia band? I do. I'm very, very curious to hear more. It definitely sounds like it's going to be very like a theatrical opera, metal opera type of deal. Very, very theatrical with just extreme vocals and just extreme, you know, heavy on the keyboard with, you know, the guitar just kind of providing some bass line, you know, riffing and stuff like that. Oh, that part at the very end when the guitar kind of started shredding a smidge. I wish that had gone on a little bit longer, you know, because I was like, oh man, this is sick, you know, closing out the song, and then that kind of ended, and then it kind of closed out like on the keyboard, I believe. So I wish that guitar section was drawn out a little bit more to increase that closing bit of the song a smidge. Maybe the drums really kind of going at it just to really kind of end it on a bit of a grand note. You know, I think that's really my only like critique I can think of for the song itself. Um, but yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this bad boy. Those vocals, good gracious. And let me know too, like if y'all are familiar with this Love-Aniverse and what's going on with that. Let's talk about this because very, very curious and interesting stuff. Anywho, I've taken up enough of your day as it is. Thank y'all for joining me on this very interesting deep dive. I'll catch y'all next time. Ranger out.